God, I love these gargoyles. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Minecraft from the fog. Last time we built this cool observation tower, expanded our base in several directions, but really, was expansion ever enough? Last time we learned literally thousands of recipes for how to make this place prettier, some of them you can see up here. But we also need to incorporate that into the architecture itself, don't we? Some of you have said that I have been far too rational with my building. This house has certainly taken a strange shape due to the fact that it has to constantly expand, has to constantly battle the horrors of the unknown. But why is the house so rational in its design? Why does every room serve such a clear purpose? No, that has to end now. This winter, as the cold sets in, as we can see our breath even as we sit huddled beneath our sheets. We need to start building some weirder rooms. The ghosts will never be confused if we may as well be planting signs leading straight to us. So we need to start doing more things like this. This was originally going to be the way down the hall. Well, what if we leave this just the way it is? It says the sun's rising soon, so we should get to sleep fairly soon. But after this, we are going to go in a radically different direction when it comes to the way we build things. And honestly, I think that's going to help us out. I think it'll be easier if we kind of abandon our ideas for what a house needs to be, because this house needs to be something different. It's not just a place where we can easily store our things, cook our food. This needs to be a place that is designed to lose you. A place that is designed to throw anyone who wants to make sense of it off the trail of someone who hasn't even bothered to make sense of it. So that's what we need to do. The only way to stay safe in a place meant to confuse the dead is to confuse ourselves as well. The more they find us, the more we grow, the more we need to see the spirits in ourselves, and vice versa. And so, in the interest of that, maybe we try taking one of these signs out. Maybe we start leaving notes to ourselves to remind ourselves constantly what this is all about, since I seem to constantly find myself off track. There we go. First of many, but before we worry about that, let's head across and get ourselves some wood and some wool, so we can continue making this place all it can be. Okay, somebody said that we might be able to use bone meal on flowers to get more flowers of the same color. It doesn't seem like that actually works, but we can use it on the ground around them, which is very likely to create more flowers of the same color. So that's a thing, and we can always farm them that way. They spawn in abundance in this biome, which is very, very helpful for us. Now, there are plenty of things that we have in abundance. That's part of the reason why this biome is so good. But I do want to try sort of testing the limits a little bit and exploring. I want to see what happens if I try and build homes away from home, little outposts, in order to push ourselves just a little bit further. And I'll be totally honest, this is not something I would even be attempting if I didn't want a camera so badly. Thank you for not burning down while I was away. However, Nox has just tonight given me some extra advice on how this thing works, although still being vague as usual. And apparently it is not caused, the fires, by me being too close or too far from the previous bed. Although it does have some negative effects, that wasn't one of them. That was just pure random chance. Which is why there's so much more we have to be vigilant on, but I think in the last part we kind of refined that strategy in a way that worked a lot. We got some testing done. And really, I just love the engineering aspect, you know? The having to do science and come up with practical solutions to these problems. For example, I was trying to get these wall sconces to accept a candle. They wouldn't work. However, he informed me that if I shift right-click... Oh, no, it was... Wait. There's some way to... Nope. Yeah, no, this one doesn't work either. Okay, so you lied to me. Oh, you're enjoying this, are you? Enjoying my attempts at trying to pretty this place up, to bring some light into here in a way that doesn't offend? That's the thing. I'm trying to do this in such a way where if I'm going to make something safe, it's gotta be harder won than just the way it works in the base game. So I can't just place torches everywhere so mobs don't spawn. It's gotta cost me something. Whether that's carpets that prevent the dead from spawning but make my place more flammable, or whether that's even... why are you behaving weirdly? Or whether that's light that costs me a lot more in terms of, like, gold. Oh, you know why? It's because these things are slabs. Alright, well, I guess we'll just leave that way then. There's some soot down there. One thing you guys told me is that there's a separate animation that plays when we're able to do this. But the bees don't seem to be hanging around all too much. Maybe we should get some bone meal and spawn more stuff like flowers around. I can't even go for a walk without seeing you. I did not expect you to just suddenly take off on your own like that. Have I ever seen that behavior before? It's become one thing to encounter you in the house, but to encounter you when I'm just out and about, it makes me remember that it's not about the place, it's about me. But the madhouse must grow. Not gonna lie, I feel a lot safer about this staircase now that there's carpets in, but at the time of this recording, the last video only came out today, and I have no idea still if they can spawn on staircases. I haven't read any comments about that. But yeah, we'll be building a new floor onto this area, and that's gonna come in the form of more zaniness. For example, the fire suppression system is going to be built into the place. Why not have it be a well, just right in the middle? So we're going to expand that so that we can get infinite water from it. After all, I don't want to have to go all the way downstairs to refill my buckets, do I? This upper floor is coming along swimmingly. This is going to be a bit of a larger room necessitated by this, which needs to be expanded. Don't mind that guy. He's a good ghost. See, he is helping with construction. Or, no, maybe he's like a trickster, you know? He leaves blocks we really don't need up here. Well, joke's on him. We can probably incorporate that into the construction somehow. Over here is where we'll set up for the night, but this is going to undergo some renovations. In fact, if we are going to start building in the zanier sense, wouldn't it be cool to take some of the nature from down there and try to bring it up here? What are you looking at? Alright, well, first of all, we'll use our fire suppression system to banish you. Although where you'll end up is anyone's guess. And in the meantime, I actually need to make a run for the other well. Yeah, that's a piece of infrastructure that is actually quite curious when fires are your #1 concern that I haven't built more of these. But now we've got to make our way down here, not knowing which corner could have a creeper around it, although we should have substantially diminished the possibility of that happening. But still, every time I need to get something in the middle of the night, even though they can't spawn on the carpets, for some reason the trail of red running throughout the house even makes me more anxious. There's just so many corners, so many little turns, ow, and so many things trying to kill me just outside. Oh, right, I had forgotten about this. Did I just see somebody trying to sneak in behind that creeper? Did I just, for just a moment? I mean, I could have been misunderstanding what I was seeing. But that's sure what it seemed like. I can see another of your jack-o'-lanterns glowing across the lake. It's at night when you're doing stand out the most. And not just because I've already got the shakes. Oh, well, we've got to move, we got to move, we got to move. I don't even want to turn around and see where you are. Goodbye. Just realized I don't even have a torch of my own to carry anymore. Alright, we can make one. We can make one. Let's just grab some charcoal from in here. Just another one of those ways where we're using the remains of our burned house to keep ourselves afloat. There we are. And now let's make our way back upstairs. I need to expand out in this direction. I mean, I've got to stop seeing windows as the end of the road. That's my problem. That's always been my problem. I'm too logical, like I said. I don't know if we've ever done this before, built these type of stairs. But if we do this, leave a gap of 4 in the middle, if we can manage not to completely drown ourselves while we're at it. And it's a good thing water doesn't damage us like fire here. And then go like that. Oh, right, I'd forgotten about this. We need to hit you from here. And now you've got another well that doubles as a fire suppression system. And we should probably get to bed because it is 2:22 in the morning. Actually, we can do a little bit more work here, can't we? Sun will be rising soon. Okay, we're going now. Kind of inspired by the movie Troll, which is not the same as Troll 2. This movie is actually pretty good. I like the idea of having natural blocks compose some of the rooms, or parts of rooms. And I think there's a lot of ways we can make that manifest, but right now I'm doing the bare minimum. There we are. And as always, I just love the way the sun pours in. All this dirt and water, this would never stand under its own weight, but thankfully this is Minecraft and we don't have to worry about that. That'll also make this a bit tougher to burn, which is also a plus. Some of you have hopefully pointed out that we can in fact shed the bark from logs, and we can do that to try and get some, stuff. Dark oak bark, what do we do with that? Maybe we can burn it with something? Or use it as some kind of decoration. Can we actually just kind of glue it back on if we wanted? Oh, we can. I wonder, can we apply that to other things? Okay, well, we'll experiment with that in the future. But we can put some ornate iron bars down here because we're not barbarians. And I guess we'll have a door leading to... Oh, nope. Right here. Or, you know what, screw it. I'm quite fond of these little fixtures like we have downstairs, so let's do it that way. I also had a bit of an idea. See, if we come over here, we've got a couple of platforms that we can look out a little bit higher from. But if you open this one, you can drop down and start crawling into the walls. Now, if we knock that out, well, that could give us a convenient, easy passage between rooms, couldn't it? Because oak doesn't grow on trees, we're going to want to start making more economical use of the stuff, so we're going to start building our floors with slabs as well, which we probably should have been doing from the beginning. It's just so much less convenient from this perspective. But if we build in just such a way, yeah, if we have the walls run along here, well, that is sort of like a false level. That means we can have a nice little crawlway running just under the floor. And that means we can also have exits wherever we should want them. Hey there. Oh, let's get this fire suppression system warmed up. Actually, some of you said that if there's a block on top of it, it shouldn't be able to freeze over. So maybe we'll test that out. There we go. Oops, don't drop it down the well. If we just come up with a covering for that, we'll see if that works. And by see if that works, I mean discover that it doesn't in the worst possible moment. I'm quite happy with the way this one is coming out. There we go. And I've got a nice tall window to peek out from behind this one with a nice spire. Something that we can start doing more of, these proper roofs, now that we have more wood to work with. Every once in a while, one of these, even when I thought I'd been desensitized, will actually chill me. But yeah, this floor is coming along nicely. Not sure what the theme of this place is going to be yet, but I definitely have an idea for a gimmick. Besides the fact that there's no railings. It's a mystery. Oh my god! The last time you got me was like 4 seconds ago. What were you doing with your face right there? I've long forgotten to turn on the option, and you guys let me know what you think of this. to have you spawn with different skins. I've never thought of you as just being one ghost, but many, so I've thought about doing it, but I've never seen you do that before. It kind of feels like the haunting is progressing in some ways. Seems to be happening more frequently, seems to be getting me in ways that seem more directed, the kind of thing that actually makes me question whether Nox hasn't just joined as a player to screw with me or something. I don't like hearing footsteps around me more and more, the more convoluted this place gets. And now there's so many windows looking at me from every angle that I can't help but think that I see things. There we are. And remember that little tunnel that I showed you before? Well, let's see where that comes out. And of course we can expand this as we will. Yeah, this is much better having the torch out than not. But we can wind our way all the way through the floor. We could actually... Now, this is the real unnerving thought, is we could actually just crouch here and look at the hallway that leads to here from the witch's tower. Imagine seeing someone here, feeling eyes on you as you walk in here at night. This is one of those times where I imagine someone spotting me and how scared they would be, and I managed to scare myself in doing so. There's so much open space here now that we're using slabs. I just imagine seeing the feet of someone else crawl out of view as I'm doing this. But we can work our way all the way around to here and pop up here. Our special hidey hole. Although probably not the best place to be during a fire. The local fire suppression systems, and numerous ones actually, kind of make that less of an issue. Oh, also, let's break this thing open and see if that's been working. It looks like it has, so that's good. Actually, I think it would be most fitting to have a door right here. We haven't done, like, nearly enough useless stuff, and if we are going to commit to weirdifying this place up, then this is going to have to be part of it. So we can put, a staircase right there. You can see into the crawl space, but maybe that's a good thing? And if we grab a door, we can hop over to the other side and just kind of cheat a little bit and place it here. And there we go, a stairway to your doom. We can even have another stair on this side so that it trips you up even more. Pun sort of intended. And I think in the morning, I'm going to head over to the Nether, because it's pretty clear at this point that our next seance room is definitely going to be for making potions. And I'm going to need potions for my next building project. I'm going to need a whole lot of glass, and the only place to get glass is the bottom of the lake. So let's go bid by and hope that clearer things fill our head tomorrow. Oh, look at that. We can see the moonlight from the foot of our bed pouring through. And I'm thinking, these X's are actually kind of useless. I think we should start building more beds. If these bedrooms are to remain bedrooms, we shouldn't just leave them empty cubes, you know? We've got to start decorating the stuff that we've already been through. I want to start using this enchanting table to make ourselves a little bit better prepared for our journey to the Nether. We can get unbreaking, protection, projectile protection. Without any bookcases around, this actually isn't so useful, is it? Alright, well, we might as well get something right now, and that something should probably be the projectile protection. There we go. And here we see the first of the 2 new mods I've installed. This tells us what these things do. Unfortunately, only after we've already applied them, which to me kind of defeats the purpose, don't you think? We can also get greater efficiency on our axe. And yeah, it's really just more efficiency and unbreaking on our pick, which, you know, might as well. Our diamond supply is limited, although I am working on a solution that aims to change that. I think it's nice to leave some burned rooms as a reminder. Of course, this serves as a reminder that I can do whatever I want because I'm a friggin' warlock. So let's go through, and before we start making our way towards that nether fortress to get our blaze rods, the the game crashed. Let's just leave a torch right there. Wait, why is right-clicking causing me to use the pick? I don't know if I've seen that happen before. And the damage was staying. Is that maybe something to do with supplementaries? I'll have to investigate that further. But in the meantime, a better weapon for us is probably the bow. We don't have a tremendous amount of ammo, but hopefully this should be all we need, especially if you guys show up for me right down there. Oh, right, we need a shield. For you guys, anyway. Yep. As long as we can dodge to the side, we should be good. Now we've got our first blaze rods. There we go. And yeah, whole bunch of nonsense down there. But what do we need for an enchanting table? That's a different thing, but that's fine because I actually meant brewing stand. No? Well, tell you one thing. Ooh, God, you scared me. In my search for a brewing stand, I found that we can build a statue relatively cheaply. Okay, so those are going to be adorning our halls just every which way. Honestly, I've always looked around and thought, this place isn't making me paranoid enough, so this will be a real good way to correct that. You guys up there, die. I think I hit you. I don't want to hit you guys. I don't want to waste arrows on you, although maybe I can get further arrows from you, although it'll be hard if I'm on fire, you know that? Dead. And more blaze rods. I don't know if this is going to be enough, though, is the problem. And also, we can't actually spend a whole lot more time here. There is more chest down that way. Maybe it could be worth making a break for it? Answer, probably not. Should have brought more food. I'm actually not quite done here yet, because a brewing stand, I'm finding out, can only be made using blackstone, and blackstone can only be found by going a little deeper. Thankfully, we're pretty close to the bottom here. We just need to find our way down. If we make our way through the weeds here, I'm gonna want some of this magma, but of course we don't want to end up tunneling into lava. I do have plans for this stuff, though. There's a lot of uses for it. And in fact, using this as the basis for our mine may then be the smartest thing, so long as we don't break that wall and flood ourselves with fire. Although that would be a fitting end to somebody like me. I mean, imagine somebody just comes upon the house, the light of the nether portal gets extinguished, and it's like I just vanished from this reality. Nobody knows what happened to me. There's some blackstone. Oh, and I've just realized this also means we can get some checkerboard tile, which was kind of my long-term goal for like a while ago, and I just kind of had forgotten about it until now. So this is good to have. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. Okay, I just kind of have to survive this. This is one of those objective survive moments. You're found here as well. Okay, we really need to make you go away. Now would be a terrible time to find out what you can do with us. Oh, we can climb these vines. We can climb these vines. If we can get these things growing in substantial numbers in our world, we could use that to scale the outside easily. Even make it so that the fireman's poles actually work. Alright, we're gonna want to mess with that, but first we need to escape. We are in dire, dire health. There we go. If we die back home, at least we die back home. Some of you guys had suggested the, I think it's called immersive portals, or something similar to that, that allows us to actually see through. As far as I could see when I glanced at it, that only exists for fabric. I'm using Forge, but if I can find a way to get that working, I will do it, because that sounds awesome. And hearing the birds of our world makes this a little bit of a calmer moment. Man, it's been so long since I've been to this part of the house. I want to start expanding over here, which is actually bringing me quite easily to my next point. I want our greenhouse to be in this courtyard right here. That'll be a good way to connect the different sides of this. And after all, this right here is already glass, right? So we're already half the part. It's starting to become very, very clear that we need a much more central and organized storage room. And so that's going to have to come a little bit later. But in the meantime, let's mark this room up because I know we've slept here. And I guess start thinking about where our next seance room is going to be, right? Because now we can build the brewing stand, but we don't have a place to put it, which is not something that I really thought about. Look at that. Okay, now this is definitely staying. This game is beautiful with shaders. Also, I was just sprinting back up here to make sure this hadn't burned down. Yes, it's next to water, but I really didn't expect that to be enough to prevent major damage. We'll get started on this in the morning. In the meantime, yeah, I'm actually going to leave that there for now. We'll build a new bed. A new bed with dye, because, look, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. To me, the default Minecraft bed will always be a red one. Actually, if I were to try and carve straight through the middle here, let me know, would I tunnel into anything important? I actually would not. Which means that if I just build up the walls on the side, this could potentially be an exit to the house. Yeah, I am loving this idea. Okay, we don't really have a tremendous amount of time for that right now, though. Let's just plug those walls in. Right now, I need some more oak. And if everything is working correctly, I can use this moment to show off what the other mod I installed is. Now I've just got to find some oak. There's one. So right here, I simply chop, and over you go! And we get everything right there in one package. I figured I'm spending so much time chopping trees in this mod, and it's time that I don't really have during the day. So we're gonna get going. Man, the fact that that thing followed me straight into the nether is a horrifying thought. But this is actually a real convenient exit because I was thinking of building straight back here. Oh, hey, buddy, I thought you couldn't spawn here, but then again, maybe you... Actually, how did you get here? That's a good question. Were you guys lying to me, or maybe you came down from up here? Or maybe from out there. I hadn't realized you could do that. Okay, well, you just die then. Is the axe more efficient at killing you? Because that would be really cool. Hey there. Should have figured we'd see you in a time and place like this. Tell you what, where is our bed marker for this room? Over there? Okay, if we're over here then, that should be a good spot. And, that's a little bit, close. There we go. And now here's one of many ways this can become nonsensical. We can just expand right over this. Now having more over this little hole, but also making it so that these windows just look onto a wall. There's our new bed. Yeah, I 100% am of the belief that we just need to be embracing weird and even random architecture more. Of course it has to function first, but beyond that, we should be doing just whatever is needed. And you know, I really do feel that these carpets are not working as advertised. Or at least that's the illusion that's being offered. We're gonna have to kill all that. But we'll place you here. We'll have, you know what? Why not? Why not just have a random gargoyle over in the corner? Actually, at the edge of my torchlight, you kind of remind me of dread halls. Maybe we won't do stuff like that. Just random glass in the middle that doesn't actually go anywhere. Why not? Actually, doing that with panes does not look very good. Whatever. We can do what we want. There you go. Wow, the up and down here is actually kind of incredible. I'd completely forgotten that there was even a staircase here at all. I'm actually gonna have to go for some combat farming in the middle of the night. And of course it rains just as I decide to. Give me all your potatoes. I need every single one, even if now isn't the ideal time. Whatever, we're moving them anyway. But my god, I hate this stuff so much. I'm just not really worrying too much about food because I'm always worried about building. But we can now put you guys in there. We haven't died yet in this series, which is kind of nice. But that's liable to change at any moment. I mean, if we can get this brewing stand built, we don't yet have a seance room over on this end of the house. Maybe we could do that here. Ooh, it started to snow as well. Hang on, wait, let's, I know morning's coming, but our bed is built, it's nearby. Let's enjoy this a little bit. That fire suppression system isn't gonna work. If we go through here, we do have an outer deck. Just appreciate the eerie stillness. Oh, sorry, sheep. At least you have a canopy over you. Oh my god, it's like Chicken Run over there. I guarantee they're all plotting against me. But seeing the snowfall over the landscape, this is something that I feel is missing from base Minecraft. The changing of the seasons, the changing of your environment around you, rather than having to go to different biomes to see all this stuff. Because in moments like this, it really makes you feel like this is your home and the world changes around you, but it stays the same. Well, except for in game modes like this, but I'm not going to think too much about it. Instead, I'm just going to try going to bed. Of course, in this episode or the next, we are also going to have to think about conducting our sleep study soon, aren't we? We've never seen what happens if we just go without. There we go. And there we go. And we can put another one in here. Seems to always give us the same ones, but whatever. What if we try putting you closer to the floor? There we are. Of course. That's actually kind of creepy though, isn't it? Like, I round the corner and I don't care that it's pixels. I see a human silhouette and I'm just a little bit spooked. But dawn is fast approaching. And the penalties are applied. Some of you guys were speculating on this. I actually know how it works, and I have had Nox clarify. The way this works is not through whether the room is enclosed, it's not through whether we sleep or not, it's simply our proximity to bed. Although there are penalties for not getting to sleep, the main thing is we need to be near it. So let's make sure that we are. Let's just go oop, oop, oop. And that will enable us to go like that so that we can stare across the way. Monsters may be nearby, but unfortunately there's just not very much we can do at this minute. There we are. And we've made it. Seeing the snow fall between these spaces, I'm gonna have to check on something. I wonder if it's actually... I love it. I love it when we can see that morning fog just straight at the end of our hallway there. But yeah, imagine that dark corner, just barely seeing the silhouette of someone sitting with their legs folded on the bed as you pass. You just barely catch a glimpse of it as you walk down the hall at night. And then you come back, do a double take, but of course, there's nothing there when you squint your eyes. We need to get in here before the entire lake freezes. I mean, I have no idea if that's actually going to happen or not, but it's seemingly a lot more than I anticipated. And I can see more freezing all the time. Some of you had made the inevitable Alan Wake jokes that I have this eldritch lake house right beside this, what very well may be an eldritch lake. And don't get me wrong, that is not lost on me. So let's climb down here. We're also going to want some clay for some of the recipes that we found. And we will dig down, and for now, we're only going to place a magma block here, and what that'll do is allow us to... Oh, no, wait. Wait, isn't that supposed to make it so that we can breathe underwater? I could have sworn it had always done that. It should pull us down. Yeah, and that one's helping us. Why not the one beside it? That's weird. Does it need to be exposed on the sides or something? Alright, well, nevertheless, we have our space where we can grab all the sand that we need. Well, never mind the fact that we're probably freezing. I suppose the fires of the underworld keep us warm at night. We should now have enough that we can at least get started on this. I actually don't think it's going to use all that much glass. It's just always good to have a bunch of it in the pipe. And we've got a couple of full stacks plus more ready to go. In the meantime, we can definitely probably sleep in the greenhouse tonight, right? Which means there's no reason not to go full steam ahead on building it. I hate the junior zombies. They're like my least favorite enemy in the entire game. Because they're so freaking hard to hit. When they're alive, that is. Anyways, we need to start clearing all this out because this right here will be the limits, the boundary of this thing. And I think, you know, this is so sloped, why not keep with that design? Oh, also, I can start collecting myself some snow now we're at it. I can't not be curious. How is this going to work on the large oaks? It just straight up isn't, which is really, really annoying. And wait, why are you? Oh! Okay, you have like a designated point. So it's a little bit rough. It seems like if it is going to work that way, it breaks much more slowly. So this mod is a little bit janky, but I suppose it's better than waiting to cut this entire thing down, right? There's your joint. We just gotta find it, and we can feel around for it. Oh my god, look at all that. Good thing we're right next to our chest quarters. You guys, this is a game changer. This is actually so satisfying. And in fact, you know, I might as well just, I showed it a couple episodes ago, but people always ask, I might as well just show you the mod list. And as you can see, this is all 1.20.1. Seems to be the easiest, most recent version to get everything up and running for. But yep, you are a port block. There we go. Although, I think it might be draining my axe at the full rate. I'm not quite sure, honestly. That's alright. I just hope I don't accidentally end up doing this to the whole house. Imagine if that were the fall of the House of the Librarian. Although I don't think Poe meant it that literally. That sort of gothic horror seems to go so well with what we're experiencing here. Just this morning I watched Mask of the Red Death. I loved it. It's my latest obsession. Now we've got some area cleared out. We can start focusing on how we're going to move this outwards. So I think right here there will be a door. That can be a hallway leading over this way. Yeah, this is starting to take shape. We also have so much surplus dirt now. I had to do a huge landscaping project to get it this way. It just feels wrong now that I'm using all these slabs for building. You know, having all these empty spaces that, like, will never present in the actual architecture, but which I know are there, that bothers me tremendously. But if we go like this, we should be able to preserve the initial thing because we can just run slabs over like this, right? Nope, those are the wrong slabs. Just run these slabs over and that should entirely contain the thing. I'm kind of feeling a skylight for right here. There we are. And yeah, we're probably gonna end up making those stairs. With all of this is saving so much time, it's unreal. Like, I don't know where this has been all my life, and the answer is I've always been aware of them, but I've just been too lazy to install them. There we go, that's looking a little better from at least the outside. And now we've got to start thinking about how we want this garden to take shape, now that we've got a whole bunch of glass in our inventory and a bunch more in the oven. It's going to be, I think, normal-sized up to about player height, but then afterwards is where the magic is going to start. So we'll have it sort of ramping up this way, which means we're going to take our glass... Oh, we might actually need more than I thought for this. Maybe we'll have to go in like a bounding fashion. Maybe we'll just have strips of skylight. I don't know if that'll work. I actually don't know how any of this works, to be honest. Oh, hey, people inside my house. I didn't even invite. You know, every once in a while I'll be building and just look around and see where I am in relation to that tower. I do so like having that one brightly lit anchor point in the middle of all this. Keeps me grounded while I work. But now we've got to ground ourselves again. I'm still hoping to sleep in here tonight, but that's looking increasingly difficult to do. You know, I thought I saw you, and I didn't think anything of it, and then the soundtrack made me think I saw you, and now I do think something of it. It's starting to snow inside, which is exactly what I'm here trying to prevent. So let's figure this out. Still got plenty of time in the night. I don't think it's even midnight yet, so I am actually quite confident we can get this done. Got plenty of materials, and plenty of problems, too. You guys just will not leave me alone, huh? At a certain point, you're hounding me more than the ghosts. Oh, there we go! Now it started! Okay, yeah, it's simply not going to be possible to put fire suppression systems in some areas is part of the problem. Yeah, no, this completely froze over. The fire suppression system froze in the thing, so it's mostly out now, but it's not doing what I need it to in the winter. We need something else. Like, I was looking at this, and at first I thought, oh no, that's on fire. I didn't build a fire suppression system in that room. But then I turned around and I was like, wait a minute, the one up above, like this should only be able to spread to that floor still. Because it should go straight up through the floor and then ignite that one and then it'll all flood down. But that didn't happen because it froze. Was there always a jack-o'-lantern right down there beside the door? I think there was one before, but I don't know if that's recent or not, honestly. Using the treetops, I can actually go all the way up to this old deck. You remember this thing? God, it seems like so long ago. Well, the association of winter and death is certainly strong in this place. But I persevere. As long as I'm not dead, I can still keep going. And that's why we built this house in a compartmentalized fashion. There's only so far... Oh! You've got to be kidding me! That shouldn't be possible! Is it just anywhere we leave a bed? Is the fact that this hasn't been happening the entire time, is it only because we've been removing the beds? If that's the case, that's what we're doing from now on, right? Like, it's gonna have to be, at least for the winter. This is ridiculous at this stage. Okay, it sounds like in here, at least, it's doing its job. Yes, okay. Okay, that probably prevented the worst of it. Oh, come on. But is it because I didn't sleep before? Well, it shouldn't matter, right? This is actually proof that it doesn't matter. Yeah, well, actually, once again, this is a place where it isn't as bad as it looks. It leveled the ceiling, leveled the floor, but otherwise the shape is intact, which makes rebuilding a bit easier. Still, this is hugely aggravating. We're definitely removing beds from now on. I have come up with a plan. It's the nuclear option. It is very annoying, but it's seeming like it's going to be required from now on. But we'll worry about that come morning. There is so much more I wanted to do in this part that it looks like I'm not going to get to, because I'm going to have to spend a lot of time rebuilding. But this glass canopy is kind of reaching the point where we need it. I want to make sure that there's a bed down here, so that we have that where we need it, so we can just place that right there. Yeah, good luck burning this one down, Herobrine. It's all glass. I can hear those snickers out there. Don't think I can't. I know what finds this funny. I know that my suffering is their amusement. If I look over there, yeah, I can see the frozen fire suppression system. Oh, hey, spider. Haven't seen one of you guys in a while. And it'll be a while before I see you again. You tell me that the sun will be rising soon. There you are. It was difficult to spot you amid the snow. Come on. You tell me that the sun will be rising soon. And what was supposed to be a real easygoing build is now a fight for my life. The bed is down, so that should help us. There we go, leaving only one space for the gap. And you know what? That is fine by me. Worry about the rest later. In the meantime, we just need to get some sleep. Huh, look at that. The way the snow piles on top, I wonder if that'll actually interfere with the greenhouse effect. A greenhouse effect which, remember, I don't even know exists in the first place, but building this kind of saved me last night. Oh, the damage assessment is going to be an absolute nightmare, I'll tell you that much. If we cut through here, what will this lead to? Ooh, right here. Which means that this hallway is getting a little bit of an extension, because we need to stop ourselves from having to go all the way around every time. Thank you. And now we have two entrances on either side, which lead us right back into here. Perfectly done. Oh, look at this. Our skyway has completely snowed over. And just another one of those kind of pretty things that just sort of emerges out of the absolute blackness that is this existence right now. Let's take as much of this as possible. We're going to need so much more oak. But I can get it from the tree farm. Look, it's starting to snow inside here. God, this is so stupid all around. And now let's just start clearing the debris. We need to move all this stuff out of the way of the stairs. I'll give it one thing. This mod does make house fires interesting again. Not sure that's really much of a goal that anyone had, but you get the idea. The fact that it burned down left me covered in a layer of ash and then a layer of snow on top of all that is just insult to injury. The thing about living like this is that there really are no small setbacks. Because right now, I'm running low on iron for tools, so I need to mine. I'm running low on wood, but I need to rebuild. Like, it's just, I have nothing to do anything with it, because it's all sacrificing time. And so, there's actually real pressure in rebuilding all this. You would think this would be, you know, the calm after the storm, but in reality, the storm is sort of the calm part. First time I've had the opportunity to test that, so you do react. Which further emboldens me to believe that you are real and that I am not crazy. As if I need it anymore. Okay, wait, I'm doing this wrong. What Nox had told me is that the way From the Fog works, every day there's a check that occurs on whether a fire will start. And, well, it seems like that fire has started just about every single time. How can you mourn the loss of something that didn't even exist 2 hours ago in-game? And the answer is, normally it's not such a big deal, but when you're constantly needing to build like this, when you have to remember how things went before, when you're in a rush to always have more, the new stuff is kind of the most important. But the old stuff you still need, just not to the same extent. This reconstruction is going to be a process that takes, like, several in-game days, I think. I just don't have the materials nor the time, so we've got to start working on our next room literally right now. And every time this happens, there's going to be, I want to say, artifacts left behind, you know? Things that are not the way we originally built it, but where we just don't have the time or the memory to build them back the way they were. And now I just keep constantly looking back to wherever I built my last bed, waiting to see if another fire will begin. Which, by the way, remind me to destroy anyone we've built so far. That includes you, sir. You're just too close. You're just too close to important things. Now, let's see. Will our first shock of the game finally break? No, this thing is actually holding out quite well. And I know it's in poor taste to say, since, you know, everything that's just unfolded, but I am starting to feel more and more the need for a lava garbage disposal. Like, don't get me wrong, in the moment it is most off-pissing. Make no mistake, but I think stuff like this, random disasters, are without a doubt one of the best ways to make a playthrough exciting. Things the player can't account for, you know? Things they can't plan for, or that they can, but only to the extent of the event's unpredictability. You really do have to expect the unexpected. We need so much oak wood to complete the repairs and get our new stuff done, but this is a godsend. So at least we do have some things going for us in this part. Oh, I'm addicted to this mod. At this point, I could probably live off of apples, huh? I can't help but be reminded of American folk icon Johnny Applebee's. Actually, wait, now that we have a ton of oak and glass... Screw the oak and glass. I have a much better idea. I'm thinking our next seance room should be just at the end of the hall over here. I've been so sick of looking at this and thinking that it already looks like it's burned down. We need a hub of hubs. Everywhere we go, we're making the same mistake of just building in a straight line, because it's the easiest to do. But we're doing weird architecture, remember? This is the new us. Oh, you're a zombie. For a second I thought that was the creepiest scare we yet had. The way you just turned and whipped around. Yeah, that's actually a major dark spot that I need to fix. But all this cobbled deep slate, we need it. We need to put away some of this lesser stuff. Oh god, there's just so friggin' much. I'm picking up so much every single time I walk anywhere, because now there's just all this tree stuff everywhere. Maybe we don't need the flint and steel for right now. Maybe we can put that on hold for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna want a whole bunch of this stuffs. There will eventually be double doors here. In fact, there will be double doors down every side of this. But for now, we're building this stack going from the magma of the earth to the water table below, rising up into the deep slate and the basalt, and finally the stone, and eventually this will end in dirt. And probably a glass roof or something, I don't know, and we'll add amethyst in somewhere, probably. It symbolizes a rising up out of the depths, the primordial shadows from which we emerged, and up into the daylight. It's also an insightful commentary on how sometimes we want to build things out of a certain material, but we just run out midway through construction and we're forced to improvise. I'll call it the ingenuity of man. There we are. And if we don't land this, I guess I'll come back for this top part later. Yep, I did not make it, but as we see here, this is not always the rightful solution that we want. We take the one we can get. It's all just part of the art piece. In order to get something easily, we have to get something in a difficult way, is what I mean by all of this. But we didn't really sleep last night either. Will we get to sleep this night? Of course not. Like, why would we? Like, why even would we? Oh no, last night was the greenhouse. Honestly, I'm losing track of my days here. We might get that sleep study forced on us at this rate. But yeah, this will be our next seance room. It'll serve as a hub so that this area can expand and branch off in all different directions. And then I think what we'll do is have like a spiral staircase or something, or what passes for spiral in Minecraft, leading up to a place where we keep our crafting bench, our brewing stand, whatever. It's all different types of the same thing. This also functions as a well, which is nice. Should only be a few more minutes now, though the game itself considers this to be daytime. And there we are. It is counting these as rooms, which is nice science, I suppose. But we need to block this off in its entirety. And we can just put a couple of you guys right here. I think will look nice. And beyond that, we've got plenty of room to expand, but a lot of rebuilding to do. There's just so much damage. And you know, it's never occurred to me just what does happen when one of these places catches fire. I think of it because, well, the gargoyle saw everything, didn't it? But those stone eyes, they're just not telling. Like, do they use their magical powers to start this out of thin air, or does it mean that at some point the spirit of some person I oppressed long ago actually stood right here where I slept and started the fire themselves? Lit a match, snapped their fingers, did something to get their revenge on me. You know the answer, don't you? I swear this is supernatural timing. Kind of funny also how little mining we do. We've actually come to depend on these fires somewhat for energy. Of course, you know, I would get along just fine if there were fewer fires. Let's not forget that. But it is kinda part of the ecosystem around here. This one actually partly failed. You weren't even frozen. It's because you were in there. I'm gonna just, like, seal you back up, because you're kinda... There's no point to you now. But really, there was never any point to you. But this is why we did the testing. I should have gone back and changed the other things, but there's just no time. There's just no time to build a new fire suppression system every day, which is why what this is all working back towards, and is now delayed because I just built a seance room, is my new plan. A fun unintended side effect of the snow landing on the glass is that it's not quite as bright in the greenhouse as it was before. But still, it's something. It's better than nothing. And you know I asked for help with the light, but Herobrine, this kind of thing is not what I meant. Well, I'm very happy for the echoey effect in here, at least. Excuse me, I'm just kind of taking inventory of everything I still have left, and unfortunately it's not a whole lot. Now let's just plunk our last thing down right here. And there's a good spot for our brewing stand right beneath the sky. Now we have some blaze rods, which we can use to make blaze powder, and we can use that as our fuel source. Excellent, and that will keep us going for quite a while. We're all set up. It may not feel like it. It's always one step forward and two steps back around here. But we are slowly but surely making progress. And now we can start hanging some wall sconces where we intend for these doors to go. And marked this original chalk still persisting. Actually, I wonder if timber works with the mushrooms. Ah, it doesn't. Alright, that's fine. We're just going to start clearing space where we can then. We don't have to do all of these at once. We just have to get these doors in for the sake of prettiness. But also there are very practical reasons to expand right now because we need a new room by nightfall. I kind of want to be clear on that point. Oh, but we do have room for the doors now, so we can just go like that, and like that. These might be the first sets of double doors we've had. The door knobs are offset from each other, so that's gonna bother me immensely. Wait, no, now you're not. Yeah, that's gonna bother me a lot. Oh, but look! The double doors actually function together! Now that is cool. I've got to figure out a way to put candles on these sconces. I'm trying to light this room, I really am. Actually, it only makes sense that we would have a well in the room with our table for this. There we go, and now we can just kind of ready things up. These things are sort of working in tandem, aren't they? We can just store those here for now. Because here we have our brewing room, but it's dependent on a supply of netherwort from the nether room. So that helps us out. I think the first place we expand is going to be over this way. Of course, it's not going to be the easiest thing trying to sleep when we're over a canyon full of monsters. But, you know, it's just the way it is in the world of Minecraft. Okay, yeah, I kind of figured that would be the case. It's kind of experimental. So you destroyed the wood, but this cobbled deep slate is actually really, really strong stuff. It takes a while for steel tools to break through it. Point is, this is going to be one of those times where a seance room also functions as a natural fire break. Because, you know, as you can see here, this is just like a big stone column that, as a hub, nothing's going to spread through this point, keeping the different spokes on the new wheel safe. That means that we're not going to have a guy on that side of the hallway, but I think we are going to have one on the opposite side. So our first room will be right over here. Now what I had said was that this would function as a brilliant fire break. And all of that is still very much true. However, I've immediately ruined that by making it so that the room wraps around the side and connects in both places, making it both a convenient hallway and a room. But, you know, in a place like this, there should be no difference. I hear you, and I assume you're out in the woods where you can't hurt me, but every time I look up there, I remember the fact that upstairs is just a burned husk of an expansion that I dare not return to. We will soon enough, don't worry. Alright, so long as we make sure to place you from the same side, you'll place the correct way. God, the moral of this story is that we have got to start using more double doors. But let me just place you. I think I like indented doors in the hallways better now that I think about it. And we will fall asleep right here, possibly finally breaking our chalk. Guess not. Of course. You know, I hadn't realized how much darker this hallway is when the top is all covered in snow. I find myself unable to sleep. We've still got so much time to go until morning, yet we find ourselves unable to sleep. Well, at least we've got some light coming in. Ironically, the most light in some parts of this base comes from the ghosts. But we need to collect as much of this as we can. Annoyingly enough, we just sent a bunch to the Shadow Realm. But we can go like that. I'm not chasing it in there right now, I just don't have the will. And we can go back and try and make some potions. Now, I believe if we go... I haven't used this door in a long time. I believe if we go in here, we've got some puffer fish. And I think these might be how we make water-breathing potions? To be honest, I don't remember, but I feel like it fits the vibe more, you know, and dabbling in the unknown. It's now that the scale of this house and the enormity of the weight that's upon me is starting to show itself. I've actually finally achieved Haunted Mansion size. But anyway, we can use some of that to turn you into the guys we need. Sun will be rising soon. Okay, yeah, no, we've got 3 hours. That's plenty of time to do this. But yeah, I just think it fits so well to just be like randomly experimenting instead of looking up the recipes again. Awkward potions, and now we can put in one of these guys. Ooh, we can also get some night vision this way. I think that would help us out a lot, but may potentially go a bit against the vibe of the channel. Not sure. Oh, and we should also get some redstone to make this better. I mean, just look at this, creaking open the double doors from our darkened chamber, walking down these narrow hallways, doors and windows on either side. Not sure if we should be looking for eyes from the windows themselves or from the portraits that stare at us as we pass. Increasingly winding halls, ones that we can no longer remember if we put them there or not. But it's all in the name of science and preservation, right? The preservation part being ourselves. The effect is creeping in. Oh god, how much time do we have? 5:08. We've still got an hour. Let's run, run, run. We've got to make it back. But those laughs and those groans, they're following me, I swear, and we are within the block radius. There we are. We've got our potions of water breathing. There we are. Another day survived, although it's a couple nights since we've last slept. I am starting to fit the role of insomniac now, aren't I? But that's not what I'm worried about right now. What I am worried about is showing off the new fire suppression system. And I think this will work much better than any of the previous ones. It's going to be more expensive. Yes, in terms of materials and time, but more so in terms of space. And if I guess the purge alarms have sounded and you're no longer coming after us, I can show you. So if we get these, we'll just kind of surround this in the shape of the room itself. This is going to be a huge issue if we want to build up, which we do, but at this stage we kind of don't have much choice. Plop all of you down. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Okay. I guess this is the forever purge. I hate you guys so friggin' much. Yeah, now you're glad you fall damaged yourself, aren't you? Anyway, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted. Water. No, I mean water. Just water everywhere until it fills the entire thing, and now in the event of fire, the entire ceiling will collapse. It's already working against me. But, you know, against a bigger threat than zombies, it should serve me. And now when we want to build the next floor, we'll just build over it. Maybe this doesn't help us. Unless we came up with some system for heating this. Hatching an idea. We need to have space to put this stuff anyway, right? For the water to flow? Pilot lights. One light that stays near each source of water and just allows this to function. This way we could even enclose it, right? I mean, we can still leave all of this here, but we can enclose it so that we don't have the constant flowing water sounds. All right, we're doing some on-the-fly engineering then. We'll still seal all of this in, maybe even still be able to walk. Yeah, if we just have that little area down there, that'll work. You guys have told me that we do not need leaves to be placed near logs for them to remain if they're placed by a player. Let's find out how true that is. Place you, nope. Place you there as a break. And that could potentially be all we need. I don't know what I was going to do right there, give you a haircut. But yeah, I think in trying to build one fire suppression system, we've actually accidentally built another. I'm not sure, though, will this keep you from freezing? I mean, maybe the block on top of you will, but, you know, maybe these little pilot lights could be incorporated into the structure. They will give off some kind of light through the blocks, right? Especially if it's half blocks like this going through leaves. This room kind of backs out onto a cave, so I'd be absolutely crazy not to do something with this. There we are. But my inability to build 2 rooms a day is really interfering with my ability to get the exploration started. So these take a lot longer to record than a typical video, and so I usually record them over several sessions, because, you know, it's a lot of Minecraft work hours to get something done. And what that allows me to do is go back and edit those parts in between record sessions, and then I can see all the things I should be doing, viewing it as an audience member and not just as a creator. And in doing so, I've not only figured out where my priorities should lie in a lot of these matters, but also I've stumbled upon a wiki, or rather a GitHub entry, that documents everything we can do in the Supplementaries mod. And there is so much more than I even thought. I am so excited for this stuff. All right, so where can we test out our first statue? Well, in the corners of this room seem a good start. Oh, they're like tiny little guys. There we go. And when we place these statues, we can do cool things like, okay, we don't need that. We can do cool things like place stuff in their hands, like little pedestals. Now, I don't know, yeah, you guys don't seem to actually give off light, so we can't really cheat in that way, but it is something we can do. Can we get those back, actually? Okay, yeah, we have to knock the statue down, but that's all right. Also, one other thing I wanted to try, it does not explicitly state this. Can we go like that? No, yeah, no, these things are still very much a mystery, and it's bothering me. But we can place you guys. They're actually relatively cheap as well. Not that I want to. I want to figure out how to get these gold sconces working. It's annoying me so much. And also, I have full clarity now, and I know it's been confusing, because I've basically, like, repeated misinformation on this. The way this works is that beds must be 4 blocks away from each other to not trigger problems. It's not like some effects at 4, some effects at 8. It is just a flat 4. I need to be within 8 blocks of a bed in order to not be taken when the morning comes. That is all there is to it. A zombie villager. Okay. You're, we can do good stuff with you, I think. Just, give me that sconce back, will ya? I'm trying to do something over here, because it's weird to have one wall that just doesn't work. Just who I needed. Can you drop a spider's eye? Oh, 2 of you! Okay, this is fate. This is fate. We'll finally have a companion. There we go, 2 spider's eyes. We turn these splash potions into awkward splash potions, and then just a little bit of spider's eye. And we are now fully involved in the occult. Which, you know, going deeper down this route is not generally how you get yourself out of a downward mental spiral, but, well, I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Actually, I just found out it's a fermented spider's eye that I need, which is going to require I want to use, and some use, which I might as well just take a bunch of these right now. I haven't really been farming them because I haven't really been as useful as expected. I need to start farming cows for leather. Okay, I think I've finally got this down. We need to make the regular potion of weakness and then add the gunpowder. Okay, so we can convert a regular potion. All right, God. That is just... One thing that really still annoys me about this game is how absurdly difficult it can be to find a straight answer on certain things. All right, now we have to make the golden apple. The sun will be rising soon. This has taken me literally all night. But now, are you still there, buddy? Okay, good. You've got the perfect chamber to detox in, I guess. We really, that's our next project is essential storage. But we need to get this, we get our potion of water breathing, And we really need to make sure we do this right. This could backfire on us, but if so, that's okay. How do I give him the golden apple? Do I just have to throw it in there with him? There we go. And there. And here should be a good spot for you. Actually, no, it isn't, because I forgot we opened up the back. Alright, come on. Nope. There we go. If we build a room right here, that means we'll have this. We won't have to worry about being too far from you that you despawn. Of course, that means there are monsters nearby, which means we won't be sleeping for the 3rd night in a row. So our sleep study is certainly happening. And actually, I've just noticed we've got slowness and mining fatigue. I think that may actually be our drawbacks to not sleeping. Why don't we go like that? That is some severe mining fatigue. We need to sleep. Just build a window so that we can maybe check on how you're doing, if we can get an angle on you. Yeah, but you know me, I do like my windowed interiors. I didn't click anything. Oh wow, the stuff I threw in there is being pushed to the surface. I don't hear you anymore. You're gone! What happened? After all that work, I don't understand. I truly don't understand this game at times. What is that about? Unless you left of your own accord? Is it possible that you just walked out and went somewhere? I truly don't have time to be worrying about this thing right now, so for now it's just going to be one of these. And we've got to get to work. And I did have an idea for another new type of fire break. I think having this very close to the potion crafting science room is also a good thing. This is killing me. Everything about this is just like a death spiral now. There we go. This is looking pretty good, I think, for a fire break. And as you can see, it should be fairly impossible for too much fire to really spread along this. But right at the end here, and we could sleep in here tonight, so that's good, but we've still got all the time in the world to move across and build our grand storage chamber. And it is going to be big. This is going to be the thing that serves not only as yet another hub, but it'll also take us into relatively flat terrain. I mean, before, we've been just kind of building up against the side of the mountain, and that has been far too much landscaping work for each project, so this is going to help us out a ton. If I can just get it working properly. You still not on fire? Good. Oh, it actually does work on mushrooms. I don't know why it wasn't working before. I guess it wasn't considered the source block, but that's all right. We need to figure out just how far in each direction this is going to extend, and I think... Yeah, see, I don't get this. And there we go. Imagine if these things could just, like, fall over on top of your house, like in a storm or something. Actually, don't imagine. I don't want to give Nox and the team any ideas. Oh, great! You know, I don't have a weapon for dealing with you. I'd forgotten all about you guys, so you know what? I think we're just gonna stay here for the night. I think right in here would be a good place to go, and we'll call this fire break tonight's room, and tomorrow will be the grand storage. How about that? We'll just sleep right here on our bridge. And I think down below we'll build another crafting bench. Obviously, I've long ago abandoned the idea of only having one crafting bench. In a place like this, it simply is not practical. Actually, if I can start to land some good hits on you, maybe you can give us some phantom membranes, which we can use for further potion crafting. Come on, stop acting like you're going to do something and then not doing that. You're actually just stuck, huh? Was a time I was really, really good at hitting you guys in the last From the Frog series. There we go, and I guess I've retained some of those skills. Ah, you're caught in a tree. Well, no fire department coming to rescue you, except me, I guess. Kind of cool how there's actually like a pattern to you guys, isn't there? Like the way you come down, dive, and then flip over. It's actually really fun to watch. Okay, with you down, maybe we can get some sleep. Yes! Oh! You just blatantly showed up right at the foot of my bed, right in the fire break, the place designed to protect me. Would have been even worse if it had been in the seance room, but my God. Do you guys have any idea how rare that is? Oh, we have a convenient solution. There we go. Do you guys have any idea how rare that is? In the entirety of the From the Fog series, that happened to me once. Only once. To the point where I actually started to think that maybe the feature was bugged after learning about it. Well, that is actually really good. And actually, I'm starting to see the point of these effects. So we had not slept in several days, and we started to be slow, we couldn't mine. That was the death spiral. But now that we've slept, not only do we not have those negative effects, we actually feel invigorated. And that is, like, I love it when the way we're meant to feel in story, or at least in this case in roleplay, is actually reflected in gameplay. I think that does so much for player involvement. But while we're out here, we should probably look to jump into one of these caves and do some mining. I'm not going to get to do any dedicated mining for quite a while, but maybe if we can find some useful stuff, it'll keep us from needing to for a while. I'm just imagining the view from any passersby, just seeing another tree be felled every few seconds. It's the kind of thing that would convince a group of villagers that there's a giant stalking the nearby forests, don't you think? I'm not normally one to do this kind of clear-cutting, but I really need the space and I need the materials even more. As we extend out over this hillside, we're not just going to be a floating base. This actually gives me the opportunity to build downward as I need it. But, you know, doing this sort of barn-raising style huge build is actually giving me an idea. This is going up so much more quickly than any of my usual projects. I think my whole problem here is that I've been inefficient. I always like to talk about this because I find it really fascinating. I actually became less stressed when I scaled up the number of videos I was making. I used to make 3 a week, now I make 7 or 8, and I still have a bunch in the queue in advance for like weeks. And believe it or not, somehow I'm actually less stressed doing that work, because I'm not trying to push out a new video a few hours before it's due anymore. And I think the same idea can be applied to this. I think if we really pipeline the production process for building, we can make this easier even while building more. And it's because I was looking at this and I thought, man, this is a wide area. Wouldn't it be better if I just built rooms in this instead of making it all one great storage area? And the answer is yes. And I do still need the storage area, and that's still what it's going to be. But good point, me. If we did that, if we focused on platforms, not only could we build more even within the space of a single day, but we would also be able to plan things better. Plan things such as fire suppression systems, plan things such as where they're going to branch off, and we could do it all much more rapidly. I think the winter may be leaving us. The environment is still a bit dull, but the color is returning. And I can see that the lake is starting to thaw. I hope your wool coats kept you warm. I was warm in my big old house that's constantly on fire, of course, which really is trading one problem for another, and I'm being sincere in that. But we just gotta get some more oak for stairs, and we'll be good. We actually are, like, basically out of iron. So we're gonna need to find some more very soon. This episode has seen a pretty hard fall, but make no mistake, we are rising again. Oh, and don't forget, I do kind of want to see what some of our new structures look like from on top of the tower, but that's something we can worry about later. There's our axe, no means to make more. Actually, our pick is really low as well, but we still have the diamond pick and the diamond axe. Just kind of been saving them for a moment just such as this. Oh, another zombie villager. Can you guys just, like, fight each other, please? I actually have very important things to be doing tonight. Like actually setting up our farming, finally. Yeah, I'm resorting to stone tools now. That's kind of the way of things at the moment. Don't want to use my last 2 iron on this. And I have seen a lot of things about, like, the most efficient use of farming, which I normally don't care. I go for kind of the scenic way of doing it. But we have limited space, so we need to actually think about this a bit more. And I'm thinking, we obviously want to make optimal use of our water, and I've heard that 2 blocks from is how it works. Well, it's not strictly how it works, but we can maybe get something done in this way. Yeah, last time I tried to cure one of you guys, I actually don't know if I have the materials to do it again. Guess we know who won that fight, though. If I try, I don't quite remember how these things work. Right, we can go like that, and you, okay. Okay. Alright, well maybe we'll get some more of you guys, and just sort of dangle you around in here. It's kind of weird to do it from glass, but not illegal as far as I know. Water here, water here. For lighting, we can simply use these things and go boop, 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 and then we'll go boop and boop, and we'll add more you guys later as time goes on. And in the meantime, anything that's within 2 blocks of this, which should be really basically everywhere, we'll just till all of that, and it should get in the splash zone. I just noticed that you guys, where those leaves had previously fallen, where we knocked stuff down, actually seems to be more fertile than otherwise. So that's an interesting thing to consider. But yeah, we just till all this soil, and this should, you know, even if it's not ideal, should actually get us a much higher yield than what we were getting outside. Look at that. Now we get that bright, bright glow as we enter. And I wasn't going to do this except for seance rooms or, like, really expensive lighting fixtures, but, you know, at a certain point, I've got to start actually building those expensive fixtures. Priority potato. Which is kind of how I conduct business in general. It's starting to rain. And with it, the rain is washing away the snow. And with it, our winter is over, meaning even some of our other fire suppression systems should start working. Actually, now that I've had time to observe this a little bit more, I don't even think the fire up there didn't get suppressed because of the freezing. It seems that it really is true that blocks placed over things will prevent them from freezing. So I'm still not entirely sure what went on there. But I think it froze as a result of things burning away, not the other way around. Like I said, I did want to get upstairs and get an idea for how this is progressing from up above. And just look at this. It's turning into a little self-contained city in its own right. There's another fire suppression system that's going to have to be fixed down there. That one is a design that doesn't work. But all seems to be going nicely. Look, if we look down, we can... we're not at the best angle, but yeah, we can see the canopy of the greenhouse. It's stuff like this that makes it all worth it. When you are able to stop and take a look around at your work and really appreciate all you've been through. And I think this is true of literally any Minecraft world. I think that's why this game has had so much staying power. Because every world is its own story. You know, no 2 people are going to have the same experience with this game. I think the breezeway might be even more comfortable of a place to be in the rain. I can hear that rain pattering on the roof. I can look out on either side, comfy in this enclosed little space. From here, you wouldn't even be able to tell what went on upstairs, but actually, we're not as far behind as I would have thought on the reconstruction. And I think I'm going to do something a little bit cheesy in the storage area. Something that'll give us 2 rooms so that we can go mining tomorrow. I'm starting to really enjoy just the experience of walking through this house. Someone please tell me how to use these sconces. I want them now. But if we take you, sir, and bring you down here, sir. Oh, right. This is a huge, huge area. I forgot. I am perfectly fine with this little area over here being the work foreman's office, which is exceptionally cheesy, but there we go. It doesn't even really need a ceiling. You know, it's one thing to look down on the rest, but it's just as fun to look up. Because remember when everything we were doing was just under the shadow of that tower? Remember when we built the tower? From here, it looks even farther away from the other way around. There we go. Yeah, we're literally... At this point, there's simply no time when we're going to be free of monsters. There's just so much empty space underneath the house. But we have queued up a huge number of things that need to be done today. Like, literally today. We need more iron today. We need to put this roof on today. I love it when the visuals actually help with the point you're trying to make. We've come a long way, we've suffered setbacks, but we are back on track and then some now. And I think that the infrastructure is in place for us to be on top of the world from now on. For example, I am about to get so much sand. Diamond. All right, so we put our little guy here, and we put a lever here. We can actually power them on to have them wave. Yep, there we go again. But this time it doesn't really have any place to spread to, so it 100% is the beds that starts the fire. And it looks like the rest is more or less taken care of by the suppression system. You know, I think number 1 on my wish list is some way to actually fully flesh out a fire system in a way that's fun. My shadow just scared the absolute crap out of me. You know, some way that isn't so easily gameable, but also is a lot more balanced and fair, you know? But that would have to be something that's, like, intrinsic to the mod, and not really... I mean, this is pretty far outside of the intended use case, I admit. Are there seriously drowners spawning in my sprinkler? Oh, you have got to be kidding! I knew this was a house of horrors, but I didn't expect this. And not to be outdone, huh? Wow, this actually spread a little more than I thought, which is weird because there's gaps. Problem is, at a certain point, there's not a ton I can do about stuff like this, especially when it's this far away. I did not like the sound of that noise. Is Robert Eggers directing this now? Oh. Yeah, no, seeing that glow has really started to scare me. But I think at a certain point, we're just gonna have to invest in solutions like this. Let's just move this over here to count this for here. And the conundrum that I'm in now is that what we just saw was a fire suppression system actually sort of working correctly. Like, that did what it was supposed to. It put out the fire and stopped it from spreading without my input. But it still did a lot of damage, and we've seen that repeated several times. At a certain point, it's dependent on the fire reaching a certain point to actually flood the room, and even if we spread it over the entire surface, like, I wouldn't expect this to do too much damage, there would still be a lot to rebuild. I saw that before I saw it! Oh my god, I saw your shadow appear behind me! Okay, well, we know you cast a shadow now. Could a figment of my imagination do that? Well, answer, if I imagine the shadow, I suppose it could. I'm not helping my case, am I? Alright, roof is now finished. You are really ramping up the harassment in this part, I feel like. And we now have this big, empty, roughly middle school gymnasium-sized space to sleep in. And I am absolutely shocked you're letting me sleep this time, considering I can literally hear the zombies, but maybe that's the benefit of size. Tell you what, I thought that this thing was kind of cheesy as a sort of fire canopy, but what if we weaponized that a little bit? For example, if we were to go like that, and like that, and like that. And yes, the reason I'm doing this is because I made a bunch of these things, and by gum, I'm gonna use them. Lashing out at shadows now, am I? But there we go, and screw it, we'll just do the rest with dark oak. And there we go, it's not a ton of storage space, not nearly as much as this can hold, but it is a start. No, you can't be inside. It may be a big dark space, but you can't be inside. I think you're underneath. I've actually pushed that to the farther end, and this is going to be pushed there as well. And then somewhere in the center, I wish I knew the exact measurements of this room. Hang on. There we go. Now we have 3 entrances, all equidistant from each other. And one thing that some of you had talked about was how we should have, like, X-shaped rooms. I think that's a really cool idea, but what if we have X-shaped hallways as well? Or even hallways that don't go anywhere? We could start doing this in our whole new block that I intend to build, because the whole point of this is to address some of the difficulties we've been having. Having fire suppression systems inbuilt, yes, but also having more interior rooms. This diamond axe is about to go, but I did find diamond in my last trip, and we have plenty to build more with. Seems like all this stuff is coming along pretty well. God, that is just beautiful. And even that grows on its own, so we can make so much more. All right, I'm hatching ideas. The cool thing about this is that, you know, because these things aren't hard-coded in, we can sort of make our own ideas as we go for what would make progress the most fun. But we're not worried about iron right now. We only found like a paltry amount, really. We're actually better off. We have more diamond than iron. How does it get to this point? I've realized that when coming this way, in the sunlight that comes down over this portrait, it actually looks like you're looking out a window at the end of the hall. That's kind of nice. There we are. Just something to keep you on your toes while you're walking over this pit in the dark. Now let's start worrying about this. I got so afraid right there, but really it's you who should be afraid. That's right, over here, stupid. We gotta break in our diamond axe on somebody, right? Oh, hey, cows. Cows, right here! I've never had my house expand to the resources I need before, but, hey, you don't go anywhere. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. Yet. I'll be honest, cow, I kinda wish I had known about you before. What is going on over there? It would have really helped me to get some bookcases up there so I could actually make proper use of my enchanting table. Instead, all I got was this lousy efficiency 1. I mean, what am I gonna do with this, cow? You ponder that. Look at this, I've already worked my way through almost a quarter of this axe. But really, can you deny the results? We are doing so much here. Like, look at this, I literally cannot stop filling my inventory space with dark oak. It's insane. Oh my god, I hate you so much. The thing is, during the day, my house kind of becomes the only place there can be enemies. I actually feel safer just waiting it out. The cool thing about the way this works is that I can totally just sleep in this hallway tonight, but, I mean, that's the beauty of taking on these larger scale projects, is that they give you a lot of room for cheese, but not cheese. It's gonna make life so much easier for us. I just had to change my mindset. And really, it turns out the best fire suppression system, I think in the long run, is just gonna be removing the beds. That's really it. But I hope with the shape of this, you can sort of see what I'm going for here. We're gonna have these 3 hallways that converge at a center point, yes, but also have room to branch off in their own directions, so right away, this is a better hub than any of the hubs we built before. And also, there's room in here for little staircases, cramped little things that we can just kind of slither into the walls and go up or down if need be. Wow, you did not have a good time, buddy. Oh, wait. A quiver, and there's some special arrows in them. First I've seen of those. This hallway is really turning into a monster alley, but you know what? That's the point of the challenge, isn't it? Cannot wait to see the absolute maelstrom of nonsense that's going to be there when I open this door. Surprisingly sparse. We have built 47 rooms, which has now linked up with day 47, so you know what? Just chalk it up to me losing my mind. I have no idea what's happening anymore with these counters, and honestly, I have no way of verifying any of it, so what does it even matter? Point is, this has got to be, like, as far as surface area goes, our biggest expansion yet. And when we do big areas like this, it's starting to become clear that we need more of a light solution, but let's not look to cheatiness just yet. Instead, let's look to good old-fashioned Mother Nature. Because when you just let some light in, it has a way of making all your problems kind of fade away, doesn't it? It really feels like opening the blinds to my own eyes after doing things so wrong for all this time. And of course, I've come to many false epiphanies over the course of this game, but I really think I've got it this time. You know, I'm now realizing if I were to get out there... There's that little unofficial staircase that I had. If I were to remove, is it this guy? And I don't want to take too many trees off the coastline. I want to be at least somewhat well hidden, while not hiding my overall grandiosity. I want to be able to look out and see my old shame from here. Or... if so, this can be seen from there. Almost as a way! Oh my god! Oh my... I hate this place. I hate this friggin' place so much. But at least we have carrots now, so, you know, it's all life's all about those little silver linings. See, we're experiencing miracles. It wiped out the approximately 2/3 of the chests that didn't have stuff in them. So, you know, that's a neat thing. It's starting to become clear that, like, I always wanted this place to be somewhere where I'd have to be careful navigating it at night. But as we transition to larger and larger spaces, this is quickly getting out of hand. So, I don't know, we're gonna have to start looking for some solutions to that, and I don't even know where to begin. The thing about this, and the thing I was honestly hoping for when I started this series, is that so much of this comes down to practical solutions as well as style. Of course, if I could figure out these wall sconces, then I would have a non-cheap way to start lighting areas, but I still can't figure out how they work. Someone please tell me how these things work. These things. I have heard something on the wiki that, if true, would actually be really awesome. Yes. And in fact, I think I can even combine that with other things. Hang on, I'm hatching ideas. Nope. If we were to take, say, these things, I think I read that we can... hang on. Yep, that's directly over, like that. And then we can go beep and beep. Nice! I'm sorry, I've literally wasted, like, the whole day on this, but I'm just trying to, like, brainstorm how this can fit into the lore, and I'm thinking maybe it can be a no open flames rule. How about this? We can make it so that, yes, you can have stuff like this, but you can't have it exposed to the air. And therefore, not a danger to your house. We're paranoid about fires because fires just keep happening. Okay, that would mean that lanterns are actually in. Lanterns are an acceptable solution, but for that we're gonna need iron. For that we're gonna need to explore, and you know what? I had so many materials I had to explore for anyway. And so, in the next part, very next part, I'm talking first thing, we're gonna try going on an adventure. In fact, why wait? Why not try it tonight? A dry run, just to see how it'll work. This was damage from before, but I actually sort of like it. Look. Hiding spot. Ooh, and it actually works, too! I did not think that would be the case! A nice little bunker we can seal ourselves in if the chase ever becomes too intense. Oh, we need more like this. I love these, like, just little moments of inspiration. And we did learn one very useful thing about these candles. They can be combined to make a candelabra, or when we put them on the end of these things... That was a very dramatic sky change. They become a chandelier. Now that is something we can use. And I'm fine having an open flame in here because, well, it is a seance room and can't actually burn. And maybe we'll move it up by 1 block. Actually, when it's just the one... When it's just the one hanging from an iron bar, it could be a more cost-effective lantern because it's fully caged. Okay. Here we are. We're making ideas. We're doing things. I shouldn't be opening doors with the flint and steel. In this case, opening doors is the same button as burn your house down. Now, I'm gonna mark this. I'm going to. But we are not staying here tonight. No, instead, we're gonna venture out into the wild yonder. And this is something we can only do at night because we're gonna see what happens if we try sleeping this far from home. I think it should work. I don't see any reason, now having a more clear picture of how the bed system works, why we can't do this. I'm pretty sure the entire reason I haven't until now is entirely based on misconception. And now that we've got the Witch's Tower overlooking the land, well, between that and a compass, it shouldn't be too hard to find my way back. I picked a really bad example because I climbed up here and was at an angle where I couldn't see it, but you get the idea. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this mod out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Get out of my outro, nerd.